congregation is mostly women. Our principals, except for one, no woman. If I'm lucky, in the next 2 years we have a woman president. I have 2 daughters, one in the 7th grade and one below that. I hope that they will become presidents too. In our high school, we have a mural that needs a little update. I think copies right here. It shows the girls doing cooking and the boys doing a bit more empowering things. And I'm wondering if before my daughters get to high school, we'll be able to update the mural.
This is something that I have been interested in. Because I happen to agree with you, I also have 2 daughters, and I have seen this mural many times. And it is from another era. And I have heard the argument that it was painted as part of the work projects back in the Depression. However, this was not painted during that time. This was not commissioned under that act. And it has no historical significance to Baldwin. For example, if there have been historic events in Baldwin, and I'm sure there are, I just don't know what they are, they're not reflected in that mural. That mural could be from anywhere in the 1950s, pretty much in Middle America. And it's before Title IX, so you can see that the girls are not playing sports or cheering, which I understand cheer can be considered a sport, but under Title IX, girls have equal opportunity or should have equal opportunity in sports. And I agree with you that, and especially as Dr. County has said recently in the Herald, we want to move forward as a 21st century school district. We want to be progressive. We're improving our technology, our image, and that in the high school, which is like this larger than life painting on the wall, is not 21st century. It's not progressive. It's not empowering to women or to men. And I fully agree with you that it needs updating or modification or something to bring it into the 21st century, to have it align with what Dr. Henry's vision is for Baldwin, which is a school of the 21st century where all students have equal opportunity, girls and boys. And it's not reflected there. A girl cooking, it's great, boys should learn how to cook too, but then we see the boys, I can't really see that one from here, but I think looking at a microscope, and it's time. It's definitely time. So I agree, and I don't know how everybody else feels on board from Dr. County, but I think it's something that should definitely be explored. Anybody else?
When was this mural done, what year?
It was done when the school was built. And I think you should do some research first before you take it down, because there is some research about the person who painted it, and it is part of the history of the school. And I just, before you take yourself and decide to modernize something, also you should be researching.
So I actually think you have done history, and I've read about the artist. And again, this was not a commissioned.
It may not have been commissioned.
We're not correct. We're not going to go back. It's not in any sort of historical registry. I'm not saying you have to tear it down, but it is not. And I understand people who've been in the community for a long time might feel attachment to it. Maybe you knew the family, the artist who painted it, because I believe he was a Baldwin resident. Maybe you knew his kids who went through the school, and I understand there's some emotional connections to it. And a great place for it would be the historical museum, which I know that you're vice president or president there, and it may. But if you look at our student body, this is not reflective of our student body. If you look at girls anywhere in the United States, this is not reflective of girls. We don't want our girls to achieve that, to cook and cheer. I'm still talking. We want them to excel. We want them to come into high school and feel empowered and challenged and know that they also can look through microscopes, that they can do great things. And you might say the kids don't notice, but one kid might notice. are trying to sell Baldwin through this PR campaign, through the website. When people come into our school to tour it and they see this big mural from another era, it's not really in line with where we're going. So I thank you, but I have done the research. I've been talking about this mural since well before I was on the board. So, and I agree with you. It is historical in some senses, and it should be in a historical museum.
And at this time, we're going to go.
Wait, I think Mr. Russell had to say something.
I was just gonna say, I think that, it is important for there to be reflection on it. Thank you for letting me know when it was built, but I think, as you said, it's something that we should explore. At the same time, the school is for the students, it's for the community. There is a mixture there, and there's a way that we can unite as a community and be a part of keeping history, but as well as bringing evolution. I think there is a way that both can happen. I don't feel like we're saying, yeah, it has to be teared down and destroy the history that's there, but how can we come to a medium to bring the new era with the foundation that was already there? And I think there is a way for us to find a way to coexist and look at this further, because if we are talking about 21st century and moving into different places, it should be evaluated.
Lori Fitzpatrick, 2284 Rockwood Avenue, is a Baldwin lifelong resident. That mural has always been there, and it is representative of the time it was made. However, all throughout that high school are other murals that are painted every year by the AP art students. My own daughter did one this year, and it is hung up now in the school. And that is total representation of exactly what the high school is in that day. So there are a gazillion murals throughout that high school.
I understand.
They're in every, now I'm
She's
speaking.
saying there's
Now I'm speaking.
I have the spot. You can have the
But
meeting, but I'm going to
let her
respond.
speak, she's not
Yeah, let us talk.
speaking.
Right, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So when you tour the high school, or even look around the commons, it's not just the one historical, beautiful mural that was represented at the time that the schools were built. Turn around. There are so many murals in that school, in every corridor, in the cafeterias. Just open your eyes and look. They are there. And they represent the current times of the school district.
Thank
The
you.
The AP art students have drawn them, have painted them, and spent a lot of time doing them. Representative today.
Thank you. And I have toured the building, and I have seen other murals that don't compare at all in size. And when you talk about a symbol of Baldwin and what it was, you're right, it's a symbol. And I think in our recent history as a country, we've seen what symbols can do. And we had a symbol of the Confederate flag. And people had very strong feelings, and people do have, I'm still talking. And I'm not comparing it, I'm just talking about symbols. You are now talking about a symbol.
Excuse me. Excuse me. As the chair of this meeting,
Yeah.
I have the right to close the session.
Okay, but I'm going to keep talking. If you
No.
don't want to leave, that's fine.
No.
And when we talk about symbols, I'm not comparing it to the Confederate flag, but I'm talking about the importance and the attachment that people feel to different symbols in their life. And a lot of people in the South feel a strong attachment to the symbol of the Confederate flag. And people may feel attachments to symbols all over the world, different types of symbols. And I understand the attachment to this symbol. And what I'm saying is that it is not representative of our community now. I understand at one time that that's what our community was like, that girls did not have equal rights, that there was no Title IX. But that is not 2015. We're in the 21st century. Our new website shows girls and boys doing things equally, and I think it's time for modification of this mural.
At this time, I need a motion to go into executive to review the superintendent's evaluation.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Prest.